big deal.
Mm.
So
Thank you for having me. I'm pleased to be
no
here.
problem, no problem. So, you know, we started your home buying journey like 2 years ago in 2020, correct?
I
2020.
think it might have been 2019, like the end of 2019 when we first started talking
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
establishing some stuff. But we
Mhm.
got the ball rolling, and I think January 2020.
Yeah, so that's when we officially started your journey. And
Yeah.
I specifically wanted you on as my first guest because I always use your journey as a testimony of
Mhm.
what can happen, what you can do when you're focused and you determined. So,
Yes,
because
absolutely.
your story is very unique. So, let's just get
Yeah.
into it. Let's get into it. So, just start off with just how did you decide that you wanted to be a homeowner?
I knew that I wanted to be a homeowner when I became overwhelmed with living apartment to apartment.
Hmm.
And having three children, they needed a certain amount of space. And in an apartment, you don't have the luxury of having your own backyard where you can just
Hmm.
watch them out your window and see what they're doing or where they are. And then they even started complaining too, like, Mom, Dad, when are we going to move?
Right,
We need
right.
it was certain things they want. We want a trampoline in the
Mhm.
yard and that. So I knew at that point it was time to make a serious change, like not just for myself, but for them mostly.
Okay, great. And so, with having that motivation from internally and from your children, so how did you make the transition from? Because a lot of times people get stuck in that I want to, I want to, I want to, I want to. So, how
Hmm.
did you make that transition from wanting to be a homeowner to actually doing something about it, like taking that first step, like overcoming that first step, overcoming that whatever fear to get
Hmm.
to that first step?
Well, first, let me say I had a lot of years in the I want to become a homeowner.
Okay.
Like I said it for so long, and I think the last time I said it I think it was 2018.
Hmm.
I didn't have I didn't have the knowledge I needed to even get started. So the push for me was when I actually saw you start to
Okay.
advertise, when you started like advertising some credit repair things that you wanted to
Hmm.
do, and I knew I needed to start there. So when I saw it, I just jumped head in, like if not now, then never, because I felt like I was in a good position financially,
Hmm.
or I starting, like I knew exactly what type of plan I wanted to have at that point. So I figured if I didn't go in then I probably wouldn't have done it. I would probably still
Okay.
be waiting. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times, like I said, people get stuck in that fear of, I want to do it, I want to do it, I want to do it. Like just
Mhm.
kind of waiting on a perfect, like the perfect time. Would you say there's a perfect time, or would you say you just gotta do it?
You just have to do it. And then what you'll find after you do it is that that was the perfect time for you.
Oh, I
You
love
don't
that.
know
Yeah.
it right then,
Hmm.
but once it's done, it's like that was really the perfect time for me. I'm
Right.
so glad that I moved and did what I did when I did it.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Um, the next thing is so when we sat down in January 2020,
Yeah.
and as I do now with my buyer clients, I still do this to this day. I sit
Mhm.
down with my buyer clients and we go over the whole process. We pull up their credit score, and sometimes, it's just not where they thought their score was going to be.
Yeah.
What I don't want to tell your business. You can tell it if you want to, but what because we get behind the scenes scoop. We get
Yeah.
behind the scenes scoop. But what was your score when we said for your score? What was your score when we put it up?
Okay, so I didn't know the difference between the home buyer score that you have to have,
Hmm.
like that
Your
specific
mortgage
score.
scores. Uh huh.
Mhm. I didn't know there was a difference between that and all the other FICO scores, like FICO score, what is it, 8?
Uh huh.
And
Yep.
I
Hmm.
didn't know. So you informed me of that. So when I looked at that one, I think it was like 436.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think,
It,
yeah,
it was
it
it
was
was somewhere
really,
around it.
really, it
Hmm.
was trash.
But what I love and what I tell people is that Because sometimes people, I wait for their reaction to see what their score is, and you didn't really have a reaction. You were just like, okay. I mean,
What we gonna do? How we gonna act?
right. It's like, what's next? What we gonna do next? So
Yeah.
I really love that you didn't let that deter you. So like, how did you stop yourself from that negative self-talk when you saw that? Because like I said, a lot of times people see that score and they get discouraged, and
Mhm.
even though I have the tools to help them raise their score, it's still like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I'll never get to where I need to be.
Mhm. Well, this is something I forgot about. In early, I think it was early 2019, like I want to say the fall.
Mm-hmm.
I actually went to an open house for Ryan Homes that they were building in Portsmouth.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in like, okay, just I wanted to see what they were offering. I wasn't ready. I knew I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't ready. But they get you in the door and then they want to
Mm-hmm.
talk paperwork. So I'm like, okay, yeah, y'all can run my credit score. And
Mm-hmm.
I knew I was going to get denied, right? Now, this is before I
Right.
had a certain knowledge about just
Mm-hmm.
applying to apply versus applying to get approved, right?
Right.
So I went in the door, however I was, and I got denied. I knew my score was really, really low. So when I got to that point with you, I had already made up my mind that if I'm going to go through with getting things prepared to buy a house, I'm going to just have to stick it out where I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point, it was no better time. It was like, well, you got denied once and
Right.
you didn't really know what you needed to do. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no getting denied again. You need to make
Right.
the necessary steps so you can go in and get what you're looking for. Because I don't like rejection. So I knew at that
Right.
point I had to do something different.
Right. And I love that you said that, because when that's why I tell my buyers, I say, I don't ever send you to a lender first because of that
Right.
rejection. You know what I mean? Like, I
Mhm.
always want to make sure we got everything in place first, then
Yes.
send you to that lender, so I know 100% you're going to get approved, and we're going to have
Absolutely.
excitement, as
Mhm.
opposed to the denial.
Yes. That one that'll make
So
you feel like, oh my God, I am not worthy.
right. So, did you have other like people in your family that were homeowners? Like you come from that, or like you're familiar with that? Is that something that kind of helped you with your decision as well?
My parents have always been homeowners.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I was really familiar with being growing up in a home really
Yeah.
that they
Mhm.
own. So
Mhm.
I wanted that for my own children.
Okay.
More recently, I have a sister and my niece, of course, who became homeowners before
Mhm.
I did.
Okay.
And I think one of the main pieces of motivation for me was my niece
Mhm.
um, becoming a homeowner. I think she became a homeowner in 2016. So
Okay.
I wanted to know, like, girl, what is like, what do I need to do? I want to get there too. So
Mhm.
I knew I had to do the work.
Yes, and you did, and you did. So, let's talk about the work again behind the scenes. So,
Hmm.
2020, we know 2020 was the beginning of the pandemic. The
Yes,
pandemic, it was just unlike, we just were not prepared for the pandemic.
right.
But the good thing was that real estate was, one of those essential, essential businesses, so we could
Yeah.
continue on with our journey. But so once you saw the score, I gave you the tips and things like
Hmm.
that to help you get your score up. We also had to work on savings and some other things. So I guess, what steps, once you knew what you had to do, what steps did you take to accomplish those things?
Well, I actually followed the plan that you gave me.
Okay.
I stuck to it. I think pretty decent.
Okay.
Um, I knew that I had to create a budget
Mm-hmm.
because I had taken that first time home buyers class that you had the
Yes.
previous summer. So
Mm-hmm.
I knew that there were certain things I needed anyway.
Right.
So putting it into action, I knew I needed the budget. I knew I had to save a certain amount of money, but I also knew that I wanted to I wanted to surpass a certain amount.
Yes.
So I had to set my goal for that. I knew I had to cut back on some unnecessary expenses. But the good thing for me was that there were necessary bills that I had for myself, like being in school and paying off other things
Mm-hmm.
that were coming in. So it was literally like perfect timing for me. And I know it may not be that way for everybody, but it was perfect timing. I could have done anything else with the money,
Mm-hmm.
but the extra or the money that I freed up, I made sure I paid myself that first and made that like my first bill in savings.
Yes.
But the
There's
plan
hold on.
was
Don't stop right. I like. Can you say that again? Because I try to tell people that I'm like, pay yourself
you
first.
have
So
to.
tell us again. What did you do?
You have to pay yourself first.
Okay.
You or your bank account is your most important bill. So just like you pay your rent every month,
Mm-hmm.
you have to make sure that you make your savings a bill.
Yes.
So if you're setting your goal at $300 a month, before you pay anything else at that time, put your $300 in your savings account and don't touch it. Act like it's a bill you paid off. You can't get it back.
Yes.
So I made sure I did that every single month. And I think it wasn't even 12, no, it wasn't even 12 months
Mm-hmm.
that I stuck to that plan all throughout the summer,
Mm-hmm.
um, into the fall. But again, I feel like I had a leg up because of COVID.
Uh-huh.
It
Mm-hmm.
was a bad situation, but it was a great situation for some of us to
Yes, it
make
was.
a
I tell people
really, really
that too.
great move,
Yes.
right? So I took the opportunity, like
Mm-hmm.
I already knew I had to at this point anyway, but
Mm-hmm.
what better time than now because I couldn't go anywhere and spend any money really.
Right.
So all of that I would have been spending and
Mm-hmm.
putting out, I was just putting in my account. But of course, like I said, I set the goal first. Like I
Yes.
knew I wanted to save a certain amount every month, so I
Mm-hmm.
made sure I did that. And I like to challenge myself too. So I was challenging myself, like, okay, girl, you did 1,000 last month. It's time to do 1,200 this month. So
Yes.
you have to challenge
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But most importantly, you just have to be willing to stick to the plan. If you don't stick to the plan, it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna push the plan back.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I try to tell people we get a timeline. And that's
Yes.
the whole reason why we have a timeline is so that you can meet
Mhm.
those goals in time for, the date that we set that we're gonna
Right.
start the home buying search. Um, so I think correct me if I'm wrong, but
Mhm.
um I think you had everything you needed in place by was it like October or September? When did we start? When did we get your pre-approval?
We got the pre-approval on my birthday in October.
Oh, okay, yeah.
On
I
my,
remember
on
that.
my birthday in
Yeah.
October.
Okay.
And I think that I had saved my planned amount. I
Hmm.
think I had saved by October,
Okay.
but I just kept going after
Right.
that
Yes.
until I got in the house. I kept saving, stuck to the same plan.
Absolutely. Okay. So yeah. So basically, from you was able to get your credit score from a four. You said 430 something up to what we needed at that time. Because at the time we needed what like a 640. Because
I think
was it a six? Well, was it still a 620?
six. It was a 620. It was
620.
620.
Okay. So we got it from a 436 to a 620 in 10 months, as
Yes,
well as met your savings goal in 10 months. So it can we can you can do it. So
absolutely.
that this is important that people understand that you can do it. It's not
Yes.
impossible. Um, so we finally got the pre-approval and we was
Mhm.
able to start going shopping, shopping, shopping.
Yes.
So I guess overall, what was your experience? What do you feel was your experience with the house shopping part? Because usually, the other stuff that you did over 10 months seemed like that would have
Yes.
been the most difficult part.
Right.
So, what do you feel about the house shopping part?
The house shopping part, for the most part, it was fun. It was
Mm-hmm.
fun because we got the opportunity to go out different places, see what was what, compare it to other properties. Some you win, some you lose. Because I think what I put in the application for maybe two places,
Super.
and
Okay.
yeah, and they chose other people over me, so I knew it wasn't for me.
Right.
But I enjoyed the shopping experience until it got to a point where I was like, you know what, this is not like gonna happen right now. I really became discouraged because I felt like I couldn't find anything.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we were going from like Portsmouth, Virginia Beach,
Yes.
Norfolk,
Yes.
Chesapeake,
Yes.
and I really did start to get discouraged. I think I had a moment of discouragement for maybe 2 weeks.
Mhm.
I think. And I
Mhm.
was just like, maybe I just need to take a step back for a minute.
Mhm.
Mm. But overall, I enjoyed the home shopping experience. I didn't like the other stuff before it, but I knew I was getting closer.
Uh-huh.
So that's why it was a little more enjoyable for me.
Okay. And what would you say was the most enjoyable part of the process? Was it just looking at the houses or putting in the offers and the negotiating or what? What do you feel like?
Um, the most enjoyable part for me was before,
Mhm.
um, for the whole process, the most enjoyable part for me was before we actually went shopping.
Mhm.
That was gaining all the knowledge I gained about credit
Okay.
and credit repair.
Yes.
Um, I think that was enjoyable because it was like a world had opened up that I knew very little about, but I learned so
Mhm.
much about in such little time. So I think that was enjoyable because I was able to, start giving like my family and friends certain
Mhm.
information that I was
Mhm.
receiving.
Mhm.
So, before we actually started shopping, I would have to say that was the most enjoyable part of the whole process.
Okay, and I love that, and that's my whole goal when I teach you guys. Like that's why I like teaching you guys and stuff because you can pass it on to
Right.
other people, and now you have that knowledge. You can pass it on to your children and put them in a better position than we were. So now they can be in a position to buy homes way sooner than
Yeah.
we bought
Then we
homes.
did exactly.
Hmm. And because we have that knowledge now, so I love that. And so one of the questions that someone had posed online was they wanted to know, do you have buyer's remorse? Like from the process. I know sometimes everything in the house may not be, exactly what you thought it was going to be in the house,
Mhm.
but I guess overall, do you regret becoming a homeowner?
Do not regret becoming a homeowner as of
Mhm.
at some point I did start regretting the location.
Mhm.
Um it was a few things that I'm not going to say I wasn't used to. 'Cause it's north now.
Ah.
So let's be practical here. I'm not going to say I wasn't used to it, but
Mhm.
didn't want I didn't know if it would be a constant, and it
Mhm.
was something that I didn't want my kids to get used to.
Mhm. Mhm.
Hearing or seeing. Um,
Right.
but oh no, I do not regret becoming a homeowner because this is just the beginning stages of real estate for me. This is
Mhm.
like a little pond. I tell
Right.
my kids, we're here maybe 3 to 5 years and
Mhm.
we're moving on. So I don't regret it at all.
And so this will be year 3. So you guys start getting some stuff in place, honey. Get some stuff in place.
Yes. Yes.
So, next thing is a question that a lot of people had online
Mhm.
is they wanted to know what type of loan did you have, and they wanted to know about if you use the first time home buyers program.
I ended up getting an FHA loan, and
Hmm.
um, did I don't think I did use. Yes, I did use the first
Hmm.
time home buyers program. Um,
Hmm.
that afforded me a lower interest rate, um,
Hmm.
and,
And
a,
it
and
covered your down payment, correct?
it
Yep.
covered the down payment,
Hmm.
and also was able to apply with the lower credit score, the 620 versus a 640.
Yes. Hmm.
But Marquita, you had introduced me to something before that, and I turned that down. But you
What
know,
was it? Hold on.
I
What was
don't,
it?
I don't remember the name of it, but it was like something that was restricting me to a specific area.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
You
Mhm.
couldn't do certain things to your home, and you had to live
Mhm.
in that home for X amount of years. I did not
Mhm.
have any restrictions, so that's a decision you have to make. And
Uh-huh.
in deciding what type of first time home buyers program you want to be in, you have to weigh the pros and the cons very heavily. Do
Mhm.
you want to have stipulations on your home, or
Mhm.
do you want to maybe pay a little more um,
Mhm.
in some areas, not all? or have less benefits, and you own your home without those stipulations. And I chose the
Right.
last.
Right. So I'm glad you said that because, for example, what you're saying is all correct. For example, the city of Norfolk has their Home Net program where
Yes.
they offer buyers up to $40,000 on their down payment. But like you said, you have to live in Norfolk,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to live in Norfolk for 10 years.
Years. Yep.
Um, and you have all these stipulations that you have to follow
Yes.
to be eligible for that down payment assistance.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, you have to weigh your pros and cons, because with that $40,000 down payment, that it would afford you a way lesser mortgage payment,
Right.
without having to come out of pocket down payment.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, you would be stuck in Norfolk for
Yes.
10 years.
Yes.
So
You're stuck in their terms, or if you break the terms, then you have to. I think it was something like you have to pay back a certain
yes.
amount.
Uh-huh. Yep. If you move before the 10 years is up, you have to pay a portion, whatever hasn't been forgiven yet.
Right.
Because they forgive a portion each year.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever's left of that, you got to pay back if you move. So yes.
No, thank
You
you.
said you declined that. No, thank you.
I declined it very quickly when I heard about all the stipulations. Like, no, it sounds good when you're looking at the paperwork and the
Hmm.
qualifications, and you see that $40,000. It looks great, but when
Hmm.
you get under that surface and they start telling you, well, you have to do this and you have to maintain this,
Hmm.
no, thank you. So
Right.
that's definitely something to pay close attention to in deciding what type of first-time homebuyers program you want to enter into.
Okay.
But the I was given the 3.5% interest rate, which was awesome.
Yes.
But yeah, it was
Wait.
no closing costs.
Okay, okay. I knew it was one you had to come out of
Yeah.
pocket because you had the
Mhm.
money for it. So yeah,
Right.
okay. So that's what happened. So you just went straight FHA, paid your own
Mhm.
with 3.5% down payment on your purchase, but
Mhm.
we got the seller to pay for your closing costs.
Exactly.
Okay, okay, perfect.
That's
Okay,
why I had to
okay.
big bag.
I know, right? It's so many deals I done had
Yes.
between. I'm trying to remember, but okay, that yes, I remember that
Yes.
now. So, walk us through the home inspection. So you did have a home inspection on your
Mhm.
property. Your home is what year was your home built?
My home was built in 2007.
2007. Okay.
Mhm.
And so walk us through the home inspection process.
So what I remember about it was coming out, meeting the inspector here. I think it was maybe a 2.5 hour
Hmm.
process in which he did a thorough inspection of the home inside and out. Anything you can think of, he checked. Appliances that were already in here, um, anything in the attic, crawl spaces, garage, all type of electrical panels. He checked like doorways,
Hmm.
entrances. He
Hmm.
checked the deck on top, the sides, underneath, stairs. He checked inside and out, even those leading into the garage. Um,
Hmm.
garage door. I mean, any part of your house, um, you will get checked in your inspection if you have the right inspector, I assume. But
Right. Yes.
yeah, I received a very detailed report on what the findings were. So I was satisfied with, his findings, and I think he did an awesome job on the
Okay.
inspection. It took a while, but I'd rather
Yes.
you take your time to do everything that you need to do versus
Yes.
get me out of here quickly.
Exactly. So that's good to know because sometimes people are worried about the home inspection. They
Mhm.
worried about what could come up, but your inspection, like you said, you were satisfied with it. Nothing came up, but in case something did come up, we would have just negotiated to
Exactly.
have the seller take care of. Um, so of course your home was built in 2007, so it
Mhm.
wasn't a brand new home.
Right.
And it was just some things that you had to kind of make your own when you went inside there. So I want people to understand that you may not be able to get every single
That's right.
thing that you want in your home. I tell people that all the time.
Mhm.
So I guess what were some of the things that you had to sacrifice or you had to go in and do on your own once you got into the house?
I knew when I saw the pictures online that I was going to change the carpet and paint.
Hmm.
And remember, this was when the house first popped up.
Uh-huh.
I was literally sitting at my computer one day and I kept that MLS up every single day. I told you for a 2 week period, I was ignoring, like,
Uh-huh.
thinking about it. And then one day I was like, you know what, let me check. And I'm scrolling and this beautiful house pops up. I'm looking through the pictures. I'm like, I reached out to you, Marquita. Girl, I think I found
Yes,
it.
I remember. I remember.
So, and I think the same day I saw it on the list was the same day we
You
came.
came out and saw it, yes, because
Right.
we had to during that time.
Yes.
If we wasn't going to see them houses within
You were at a loss.
24 hours.
Okay. So we hopped on it very quickly.
Yes.
So I
Mm-hmm.
sat there going through the pictures. I saw everything that was posted, and I already had my mind made up. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
we go in there. I'm gonna look at the carpet because I see some issues here. I don't like
Mm-hmm.
the color of the wall, so I already knew what I was gonna do, and that's exactly what I changed. The
Okay,
carpet
just the carpet and the paint.
and
Okay, that's good because sometimes it's hard for people to see the vision of what the house can look like,
mhm.
beyond what may already be in there. So
Yeah.
that's good you were able to see past that and make it
Mhm.
your own. So fast forward to today, January 2023, going on 3 years as a homeowner.
Mhm.
Do you still enjoy your home? Y'all still in there making memories, and what are y'all in
Yeah,
there doing?
absolutely.
Give us some scoop.
I love my house. I love
Hmm.
when I come home, I'm proud of myself. Like
Hmm.
a major accomplishment, and it makes me feel good knowing that my children have a home, they have space, they have a backyard to play in,
Hmm.
extra little stuff back there, to make the yard look cute, you know. So I think like I made a wonderful choice. Again, there were moments when I was like, well, did I pick the right location? But
Hmm.
I do not believe that things happen coincidentally. I
Hmm.
believe that things happen for you the way they are designed to happen. So this house is for me. That's why
Yes.
I'm here.
Hmm.
And oftentimes I'll go to my children like, are y'all happy here?
Hmm.
You enjoying it? And as a matter of fact, my son came to me tonight and said, Mom, you did a good job with this house.
Oh,
That's all I needed. That is all I needed.
that's all you need, girl. Them kids, woo boy, they know how to
Listen,
pull. They know how to pull. Do you hear
okay,
me?
okay.
Yes.
I'm satisfied. I do not
Hmm.
regret moving where I chose to move. I do not regret choosing an older home because if I didn't tell you it was built in 2007, you wouldn't know.
Right.
It
Hmm.
literally looks like a more modern home. And the
Yes.
previous homeowners, I think it was only two of them, they took
Hmm.
very good care of this home.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm in a new construction house.
I know
And
that's right. It
nobody
looked
told
like
me
a
that
new
I'm there.
construction house when we pulled up. It was like,
Listen,
oh,
can't
compared
nobody
to the
tell
other
me that
houses
I'm
in the
there.
neighborhood, we was like, oh,
Listen.
okay,
Okay. Literally a diamond in the rough.
yes.
Literally.
Yes. So what give us some scoop, behind the scenes scoop. Have you had to do any like repairs or anything these last 2 years? Like anything broke down, like that in the
Mhm.
home?
The only thing that I had to get repaired, and I think that was maybe 4 or 5 months after I bought the home, was the ceiling light in the kitchen. It
That's
was
it.
yeah, it was something wrong. Like it wasn't the bulbs because I kept changing the bulbs, and
Hmm.
one of them still was having an issue. I think it was like a very small electrical problem that was associated with needing to change the fixture itself. That was
Oh,
it.
okay.
The other little things that have gone on, I've put on my handyman hat and fixed it.
Okay. Okay, I know that's right.
Yeah.
YouTube,
Yes.
YouTube will
Okay.
teach you how to do anything.
You do not need to call a plumber for everything. You
Hmm.
just don't. Go
Yes.
do some research and the little stuff that you can fix it. And I'm talking about very little stuff that I've known people to pay hundreds of dollars to get fixed, like the garbage disposal.
Hmm.
And I fixed it.
You fixed it. The garbage
Listen,
disposal.
I fixed it twice. I'm proud of myself. So
Yes.
That's all I've really dealt with. There have been no major issues here with anything. Knock on wood. But
Ain't nothing gonna come up. You gonna be good to go.
yeah, I love it. I love it. I don't have any complaints.
So we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. I'm gonna let me look and see was there any more questions that people wanted to know from an actual home owner. Um, okay. Oh, someone asked, is your property under a trust? I don't know if we even started even talking about estate planning or anything like that, or have you
No,
thought about that? Okay.
I don't think we really talked a lot about that.
Okay. So that's kind of next level. Kind of next level stuff. But
Mhm.
okay. So I really enjoyed going back through this
Yeah.
process with you. And is there any final words of encouragement, advice, anything you want to share with people who are looking to start their own journey?
Yes. Be very vigilant. Make sure that you're disciplined, you have a plan. Write the vision.
Hmm.
Make it plain.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Ask for what you want. Lay out what you want and how you want it to look. You might not get it all that way, but you will get what you need.
Hmm.
Don't go in too picky. Um, be practical in your thinking and what you
Yes.
will not accept in a house. Um, and like Marquita said, you can make anything your own. So it doesn't have to be that you make any extensive repairs or you spend a bunch of money doing anything extra. Like I said, all I did was change the carpet upstairs and got the walls painted. It
Hmm.
wasn't that much. But before you can even get to those steps in the home, you have to make sure that you are very disciplined and you budget and you save your money. You have to.
Yes, that's the key. That is the key right there.
Yeah, you can't make any moves if you have nothing to draw from. So
Hmm.
set a goal for yourself, challenge yourself. Um,
Hmm.
I think that I was able to save what almost $16,000
Hmm.
at a short amount of time, and
Hmm.
that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Duh. And
Okay,
10 months to a year? Girl,
listen,
please.
it is possible. It's
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
hands on. It's possible. Um,
Hmm.
work with Marquita.
Yes.
I know that you might know other real estate agents and other people who can help you in the process, but I can tell you from firsthand experience, she not only helped me get my credit to a great position, but she put me in a position to understand why I was doing what I was doing with my credit.
Hmm.
I learned so much from her and the process
Oh,
and
thank you.
the products that she offered,
Hmm.
trade lines, Lord knows
Yeah.
my life. Okay? Trade lines. And now I don't know if trade lines are as effective now because
Hmm.
some things have changed with credit scores and the credit model. But trade lines helped me a lot through Marquita. Um, don't be afraid to get into self builder accounts that
Hmm.
help you build your credit, uh,
Yes.
secure credit cards. Also, these are all the things that I implemented with
Hmm.
her help to help boost my score. Um,
Yes.
the disputing process is a headache, but it's necessary. If you have to
Yes.
get it
Hmm.
done,
Yes.
and you will thank yourself later. But just make sure when you start saving your money, you keep in mind a goal in excess of the original goal because you want to make
Hmm.
sure you have money to do certain things when you get in your home, like buy yourself some furniture or
Hmm.
whatever you want to do. Just make sure you have the money to do it. You need
Right.
that earnest money deposit. You're gonna need
Hmm.
the down payment once you understand what your interest rate is gonna be, and you need to make sure you still can maintain your savings for that emergency fund. So
Yes.
just be practical with yourself. Don't try to rush into a situation. It'll all come when it's time to come. Just
Yes.
be vigilant. Don't give up. I didn't give up. and there were several rocks thrown in my path,
Yes.
but I did not give up. I kept going,
Mhm.
and this is the end result.
Yes. And I also want to point out, which is very important, is that because people have all kinds of excuses. I just want to point out that you are a mother with three children and just one income. Like you just have one job, correct?
Yes.
Or do you have like a side? Cause
My side hustle is not making any money. But
I
when I
just want to point that out because people be like, oh, I
yes,
got kids, I got responsibilities.
listen,
This
we
honey
all
has
do.
three children and on one income, and you were still able to get your credit score up
Yeah.
200 points
Mhm.
in 2 months, as well as save $16,000. That's the real behind the scenes scoop on when you are determined to do something. There's no excuses that's going to stop you from doing that.
Right.
So, again, I just want to say congratulations, girl.
Thank
I am so proud of you. Like I
you.
said, your testimony is one that I carry with me all the time, girl,
Thank
all the
you.
time. And people be like, "What?" I'm like, "Yes, it's true
Yes.
life, real life." So,
Mhm.
so I just want to say thank you, thank